Well, hello and welcome to NEWUP Weather News for our weekly Sunday update. Looks like we're going to be warming up a little bit. I'm excited to tell you about that. And not just warming up in the short term, but just want to tell you that we're actually going to be warming up in the long term. So I'm actually going to pull up a few charts here that I can show you that we are actually moving towards warmer weather consistently starting this week. Let me show you. So what you're seeing here is a chart of daily temperature normals. So the average normal, the max normal, and the minimum normal for an entire year. So we'll start with Iron Mountain in Kingsford here at the weather station out at the airport. And so you can see that there is an upswing at the end of January. So the average normal temperature on this start of this week would be 13.4 degrees. But you'll notice that as we get to the end of the week, by the 28th, so next Sunday, 13.5 degrees, and we're going to be gradually moving up our normal temperature from there. It may be slow going, but it's going to happen. Same thing in Marquette. So this would be in downtown Marquette. So same thing, 13.4 degrees. And you'll notice that it's actually going to start going up towards the end of this week into next week. Out at the airport in Houghton, Hancock, same thing. So here we are today, 15.3 degrees, and it'll go down a little bit, but then you're going to notice it's going to start rebounding right away. Very exciting. Some Wisconsin locations, here's Minocqua. You can see that if we go to today, 9 degrees is our average temperature, but starting on the 26th, we're going to be looking at 9.8 degrees. In Eagle River, again, today, we're looking at 11 degrees, moving down 1.1 degree, but then moving back up on the 27th, 28th, so the tail end of next week. And then lastly here, Marinette in the southern part, the most southern part of our area, 17.1 degrees, but again, we're going to start moving up. Next Saturday, looks like we're going to be at 17.2 degrees, and it only goes up from there. We're going to start with the GFS model, and we're going to take it through the front part of this week. And you're going to notice that possibility for a rain-snow mix is going to be pushing into the area, pushing into Wisconsin, I should say, starting on Monday, and then going into very early Tuesday morning. So this will be midnight, Monday going into Tuesday, and you can see that it's reaching southern Wisconsin, and that there looks like there's going to be just enough cold air that will keep it as snow. Now, what's also going to be fighting against this is Canadian high pressure, which could keep us out of any meaningful snow, with the exception of maybe the lake effect snowbelts. You can see that the model's kind of hinting at that in some of the northern upper peninsula counties. But as we go along on the GFS model, you can see that maybe some of our southern Wisconsin counties, Marinette, Oconto, Forest, and Florence, and maybe parts of Oneida, Langlade, and Lincoln County could get into some light snow, but nothing very meaningful. And that storm is going to be moving out of here by the end of the day on Wednesday. What we're going to also be keeping an eye on is a storm that could be impacting the area late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And again, the models are showing that this could be a relatively quickly passing storm. Some folks in our far southern portions of our counties could be seeing rain or a rain-snow mix. But again, this is not going to be anything strong. And this is 6 a.m. on Thursday, and it's already moving out of here. And as we continue through Friday and into the weekend, you can see that high pressure is going to be dominating until possibly a little bit of light lake effect snow Saturday for our UP counties. And then Sunday, again, looks like it's going to be mostly dry, maybe with just some flurries carrying us into the start of next week. Temperatures on the GFS model, they're going to be warming up, and you're going to like it. So we're going to be moving into temperatures that are going to be looking highs in the the mid to upper 20s on Monday, and they're only going to get progressively warmer from there. And you can see that even at night, they don't really cool down. This is noon on Tuesday. You can see those low 30s are pushing in. Again, doesn't cool down much at night. Wednesday, again, more warmer temperatures moving in, especially across our northern counties, closer to Lake Superior, where there's very little ice still. So the lake is really able to influence those temperatures. As we move into Thursday, again, even warmer temperatures than that. And then going into Friday, even warmer than that. So we are moving into a warmer stretch, like I said at the beginning of the video, not necessarily just long-term, but also a short-term, nice warming stretch. Now, the GFS really wants to bring some cold temperatures back in to our area by the end of the week, but I really think that that's not going to happen, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But first, let me take you over to the European model. And so we'll look at the possibility of that rain, snow, or snow on Tuesday. And again, this model keeps it even further south than us, not even bringing in any sort of lake effect snow. And then here's that system Wednesday going into Thursday. Again, we may see a light rain snow mix. I think what we'll have to be most concerned about is the possibility of some freezing drizzle or maybe even some light freezing rain for our southern counties in Wisconsin. I think in Vilas, Oneida, and most of the Upper Peninsula, it's going to be cold enough to stay snow. But if you're in, say, Marinette, Oconto, Menominee, Delta County, it could possibly be a rain-snow mix or even a little bit of freezing rain. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But that has this moving out of here. Here's Friday. And again, we got high pressure dominating. Saturday, not much to speak of. And Sunday, same thing. Let's take a look at the temperatures with the European model. And you can see those warmer temperatures are going to push in mid to upper 20s to start the week. And then as the week progresses, you're going to see that those temperatures get warmer and warmer. Now, if you recall, the GFS model showed that it was going to have a cool down at the end of the week. But the European model shows this a little bit differently. So here is Sunday, for example, next Sunday, 1 week from today. And you can see that it's bringing in some really warm temperatures, even warmer than closer to the Lake Superior that you get as opposed to in central and north central, in northeast Wisconsin. The European model tends to be a little bit more accurate in the wintertime. So that's why you'll notice on my 7-day forecast, I'm going to lean more into the European model for the temperatures. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how much snow are we going to get with this system that's coming in on Tuesday into Wednesday? And to tell you, again, not very much. So here's the European. You can see that maybe if you're in southern Oconto or Marinette County, 1 to 3 inches at the most. For most of us, though, really not much of anything. So you can see a lot of these models are really keeping this system south of us. So the Icon model here, maybe bringing in an inch to the eastern 2/3 of the Upper Peninsula and some of our Wisconsin counties. The NAM, which is usually very moisture aggressive, not very impressive with this storm. I think the NAM is looking at bringing in even more rain than anything. And then again, the last two models here, really not looking like this thing on Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be any sort of a big snowmaker. And just to show here, it also looks like we're going to be keeping any sort of ice accumulation well out of our area. Folks across central Illinois may be seeing some icing, but I think this might be a little bit overdone. But just because we're not seeing snow doesn't mean, oh boy, we're going to be seeing freezing rain or something like that. Just because the temperatures are warmer, I do think we may have some slushy buildup on the roads and things like that with any snow that's standing on secondary roads or side roads. But on the main roads, I think we're going to be just fine. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the 7-day forecast for this week. You're going to see that the temperatures are going to be much more agreeable this week as opposed to those bone-chilling wind chills we had last week. So we'll be starting the week with mid to upper 20s going into the 30s, and it'll get progressively warmer as the week goes on. And I think Wednesday, Thursday are going to be our warmest days. There's a possibility that most of us reach 40. With the snow on the ground, that could be a little bit difficult, but that's going to be our best possibility. The only bummer about the warmer temperatures is I think it's going to keep things a little bit gloomy. I think with the extra moisture in the atmosphere, with the melting snow and the possibility of some fog this week, that we're going to be seeing a pretty gloomy week. You can see I've also got the light snow in there for Tuesday and that light rain snow mix on Thursday. I don't think that's going to amount to much of anything for anyone other than maybe our southern counties. I think we're going to be staying just generally cloudy. And of course, if any of that changes, I'll be sure to put out a NEWUP Weather in 2 video updating any of those changes. But I would not be surprised if those systems go past us and are pretty uneventful for all of us. As the week goes on, you can see that the temperatures will cool off slightly, but then warm back up as we get towards the end of next weekend. You can see that Sunday we might have a possibility for some sun, and if that happens, for us folks in the far north, so north of Highway 41 and M28 and Baraga and Houghton and Keweenaw County, northern Marquette County, you might see some of the warmest temperatures of all of our area, just based on the way that the cloud deck looks like it's going to shape up next Sunday. But that's 7 days out. That very much could change, but warmer temperatures is really the name of the game. Speaking of warmer temperatures, I want to take you to the Climate Prediction Center's temperature outlook for the next couple of weeks. So you're going to notice that over the next 6 to 10 days that we are going to be well above average across all of Wisconsin and most of the Upper Peninsula, maybe a little bit, quote, cooler in the east. But this trend is going to continue in the next 8 to 14 days as well, according to the Climate Prediction Center. And even over the next 3 to 4 weeks, as you'll see in this next image here, that we are going to be staying above average with our temperatures going into February. And so I really think that we're going to be looking at some nice weather if you're looking for those warmer temperatures. Unfortunately, if you're a bit of an outdoor enthusiast, I think you will be a little bit disappointed with the warmer weather and the lack of snow. But I'm sure that winter has not finished its bag of tricks for us yet. So I'm sure that there will be plenty more winter for it to come. So don't assume that this is me telling you, "Hey, it's spring, you made it through winter," because it is certainly not. But we can enjoy some warmer temperatures, especially after having that really hard cold snap over the last few days. So I want to finish up by taking you to the CFS model and showing you what's on tap for week after next. So we'll start it here on Monday, week after next, and you can see that high pressure is going to be dominating and those warmer temperatures are going to be pushing in like we talked about. There's a possibility for some rain, looks like maybe middle of week after next. And then we're going to be watching a much bigger system that could impact us the first weekend of February. So right now, this is bringing this system in as a rain event for all of us, which could make things really messy. But as you notice, as we get into 2 weeks from now, that it could end with some freezing liquid precipitation and snow. This is way out, so I don't want you to think that this is going to be a big problem that you have to be concerned about, but it's something that we're going to be keeping an eye on as we go over the next 14 days. We'll be looking at the first full weekend of February. But that's all for today. I hope you get out and enjoy some of those nicer temperatures while we still have some snow and enjoy some of that winter weather activities that maybe you haven't had a chance to do because of the warm start to the winter we had. Again, if some things change with the systems on Tuesday and Thursday, I'll be sure to get some information out. Otherwise, we will see you next week for our next Sunday night update here on NEWUP Weather News. Take care and have a great week.